Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for News Updates at 2. My name is Tandy Zumara. Pope Leo XIV earlier today received the President of Malta, High Excellency Miriam Spiteri de Bono, at the Vatican. The President later held talks with Vatican Secretary of State Pietro Parolin and Secretary for Relations with States and International Organizations, Bishop Paul Aragalaha. According to the Holy See Press Office, discussions were cordial and focused on the international situation, particularly developments in the Middle East and Ukraine. The meeting also highlighted strong bilateral relations between the Church and Malta, as well as shared concerns such as migration and demographic trends. The Human Rights Defenders Coalition HRDC has raised concerns over the current national budget, saying it lacks clear details on how proposed reforms will be implemented. While acknowledging that the Minister of Finance highlighted Malawi's economic challenges, stagnant growth, high inflation, foreign exchange shortages, and rising public debt, the coalition said the budget fails to explain how reforms will achieve measurable results. HRDC has also cautioned that the Democratic Progressive Party DPP government's pledge to restore macroeconomic stability mirrors past promises by successive administrations, which yielded limited improvements. The Malawi Union of the Blind has welcomed the 2026-2027 national budget provision exempting assistive devices for persons with disabilities from import duty, describing it as a long-awaited response for the needs of marginalized groups. Executive Director Ezekiel Mwenda said the move shows that the government, under President Peter Mutharika, listened to submissions from organizations representing persons with disabilities by prioritizing measures that promote inclusion, dignity, and equal participation in national development. Among other tax measures, Minister of Finance Joseph Monamveka announced the removal of import duty on equipment for community technical colleges for support skills development and removal of tax on religious materials like Bibles, the Quran, and other religious materials. One of the country's security experts, Sheriff Kaisi, has commended the government for issuing a travel advisory cautioning citizens against traveling to the Middle East amid escalating hostilities between Iran and Israel. The advisory urges Malawians to avoid traveling to or transiting through the region, describing the security environment as volatile and unpredictable with heightened risks to foreign nationals. Speaking to Luntha television, Kaisi has described the government's action as both timely and responsible, saying it reflects a strong commitment to protecting citizens from potential harm. And in other news, in Guinea-Bissau, the country's two principal opposition parties have made a public appeal for dialogue with the military junta that seized power in a coup in late November 2025, seeking a way out of the ongoing political crisis. The move comes amid deepening instability since the Haute Commandement Militaire, the junta that ousted President Omaro Sissoko Embalo in November, took control of the government and suspended the electoral process. Opposition leaders, including figures from the main party coalition led by Domingos Simoes Pereira, have sought to open channels of negotiations with the junta as tensions persist over the future of Guinea-Bissau's constitutional order. And that's about what we had time for in this edition of our News Updates at 2. My name is Tandy Zumara. Good afternoon.